Welcome back to our pose of the day for 100 days. So hopefully you've enjoyed the last 2 days working on our hip mobility and opening practices. So we're going to continue that theme today, opening up the hips, a little bit at the front of the body, strengthening the glutes with our dynamic bridge pose. I'm going to do a few variations of bridge pose today. So what I'd like you to have is a block. If you don't have a block, maybe you have a thick beach towel that you can fold up or a firm pillow. So I'll demonstrate. We'll use those when we come to our static bridge pose using the block or the pillow underneath our hips. So we'll get started. Now with bridge pose, I want to try not to flex our neck too much. We're already lifting the hips and flexing the neck. So maybe we could come to a little lighter pillow for our head or lift, or maybe none at all. Just make sure it's comfortable enough for you. So we'll start on our backs as we do. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Arms by your sides. Let's take our nice 3 full breaths in through the nose. Exhaling out through the mouth. As you continue, allowing the whole back body, the shoulders to release down into the floor, letting yourself arrive to our one pose practice today. So today we'll start with our bridge pose. We'll take our feet hip distance apart, keeping the toes pointing towards the lower edge of our mat, and arms either side of our body. And we'll think about rolling the shoulders gently back to the floor. So you might watch first just to get an example of what we're going to do, because we're going to come into robot arms. We're going to bend the elbows with the palms together over our abdomen. Now, if we have any injuries to the knees or knee surgery replacements, you want to walk your feet just a tiny bit farther away from your hips to give space for the knees, but make sure it's supportive. If the knees are happy and healthy, we'll walk our feet a little bit back into our natural position. We should not be able to really touch the feet or the heels. So a little bit farther away, keeping the feet, the knees, hip distance apart with the toes pointing forward. We want to allow our awareness or our gaze to focus downward towards our knees or our thighs. And then when we're ready in our robot arms, think of pressing the backs of your arms gently into the floor, tips of your shoulder blades rolling back. As I inhale, I press my feet evenly to the floor, lift my hips, and press my palms down into the mat. And then as I exhale, releasing the hips back down and bending the elbows. So we can set up and start together, just again so we're not twisting the head. Feet evenly grounded, backs of the arms pressing into the floor. Take a gentle inhale, lift the hips, press the palms into the floor, and exhale, lower. We can start with a little bit smaller range of motion. Gently allow those hips to start to open. Notice the knees. We want to keep the knees tracking in line with the hips and the toes. Try not to allow the knees to fold in together or turn out away from each other. Keeping your gaze downward so the head is not rolling back. Nose towards the ceiling. Want to keep the nose, might be facing the ceiling, we just don't want it to turn back behind us. So keeping the gaze downwards helps with that. Let's try about 3 more. Nice and smooth, moving with your breath. Engaging the hips, the glutes gently as you lift your hips. 2. And last one dynamically. As you release your hips to the floor, you can relax the arms by your sides. Take a couple nice smooth breaths. Checking in, just noticing any sensations or in the body. Now, we'll find our block or our pillow or both. So maybe just roll to your side and gently watch for a moment as I demonstrate where we want to go. So if you have a block, we're going to hold it on the short end. Lift my hips just enough to slide that block right under my hips. Now I want the block to be right at that nice flat, bony part of the hips. So the top of the block is right at the top of my hips, not in my lower spine. And then the lower edge of the block, maybe right above my tailbone. And I keep my feet nice and grounded and let the weight of the hips release down into the block. Now, you might check in, maybe that's causing discomfort in the lower back or the front of the hips. Any discomfort, you can come on out of it. And I'll demonstrate with our firm pillow or rolled up towel. Same idea. I lift the hips, put that pillow right under my hips. And again, I want it sort of at the top of the hip bone there, where it feels supportive and not all the way in my lower back. So if you see it in the lower back, you can see I'm overarching my spine, pressing my tailbone forward. So give a little more support for the hips. And then we can rest and release here and do the next following sequence as well with the pillow. I will demonstrate using the block. So whichever you have and would like to use today, come into that position of our lifted hips. And pause here for a moment, perhaps turning the hands so the palms are facing up, allowing the shoulders to roll back to the floor, keeping your gaze or awareness gently downward towards your knees. Take a few nice full and extended breaths here, letting those exhales be a little bit longer than your inhale, allowing the hips to release down into that block for support. Getting just a nice little gentle opening of the block and a little back extension for the lower back, giving some nice traction for the lower vertebrae of the spine to release and giving more space for the discs. Make sure it always feels okay for you. Any discomfort, feel free to come back out of this. So you can stay here. We're going to add on to that. Keep your left foot gently grounded. Start to slide your right heel and foot towards the bottom edge of your mat. You're going to feel a nice opening start to happen the front of that right hip. I'm going to gently press the ball of that right foot away from me towards the bottom edge of my mat. And I pause here, taking those extended breaths. Now check in, make sure everything feels comfortable. If anything feels uncomfortable for you, slowly slide that right foot back in line with the left foot. Anytime you also notice that your breath starts to get a little more shallow or short or strained, that's a good sign that the body is holding and working to avoid some discomfort. So that's when you also want to back out of a pose. We'll take one more nice full breath here with our extended one leg bridge pose. Now gently slide that right foot back to its starting position. Ground the right foot down. We'll start to slide that left heel towards the bottom edge of our mat. Straightening just as best. If the knee's a little bit bent, that's okay. Press the ball of the left foot away from you towards the bottom edge of your mat. Keep that right foot grounded so that right knee stays in line with your hip. Shoulders release back. Eyes closed, or no matter eyes closed or open, keep the awareness downward towards the belly or thighs. Checking in, making sure everything feels comfortable, the breath is smooth and relaxed. We'll take a couple more easeful breaths here. And when you're ready, slide that left foot back in line with the right foot. Press both feet into the floor. We'll lift the hips. Remove the block or that pillow out from under you off to the side and lower the hips back down. And then we'll gently draw the knees in towards the belly or chest, hands around the shins or the back of your thighs, giving yourself a nice hug, lengthening the lower spinal muscles after that little back extension. And we'll rock a little bit side to side. Take your time as you roll to one side. We'll slowly press ourselves up. Use your blanket or your firm pillow or blocks to sit on. And I thank you for joining our one pose practice today. I hope you continue and you're enjoying it. I'd love some feedback. Have a wonderful day.